As we have all seen in recent weeks, there's been a sharp rise in anti-Semitic words, actions, and attacks online around the world, and unfortunately, right here at home. Nowhere in the United States have these hateful and divisive ideas been more prevalent or found a safer home than on college campuses. It is up to all of us to call out these actions and protect Jewish faculty, students, staff at these institutions. Unfortunately, many of our university leaders have not met this moment and have allowed anti-Semitism to continue to grow and to rear its ugly head. President Magill, does the University of Pennsylvania have in place any policies to ensure that each student who is enrolled at the university receives information on the history of anti-Semitism, how anti-Semitism presents itself, and actions students can take to prevent and report anti-Semitic behavior, and if, why or why not?
Thank you for the opportunity to discuss that. We are in the midst of making certain that all anti-bigotry efforts ensure education about anti-Semitism. We committed to that into September, and we're working through that. We've added education. Some parts of our program do, and some parts of our program need to be enhanced. So we're working on that right now, and I assure you that we will make certain that that is included in all of our anti-bigotry efforts, anti-Semitism.
That is much appreciated. I wonder if that type of education would have been in place at all of our college campuses before this, whether we would have seen the massive reactions that we have that are just hard to describe and justify in terms of the demonstrations and just the hate. Ed, as part of the recent protests on and around campus, there have been dozens of arrests made by university police, including several related terroristic threats. Does the university plan on requiring students, faculty, or staff arrested as part of these protests to receive further education on anti-Semitic behavior?
Congressman, is that a question for me?
It is. I'm sorry. Please.
Well, we're very committed to making sure everyone understands history and anti-Semitism for sure. The description of the arrests, I'd need to learn a little bit more about.
Well, the requests that have occurred, obviously, related to protests involving faculty or staff, students. The question is, within the consequences, when the university police are the ones that are intervening, whether there's any thoughts to further education for those individuals regarding anti-Semitic behavior and the impacts of it.
It's certainly consistent with my perspective and my values and the institution's values. I wonder if I could follow up with your team about the specifics of these arrests, because I don't know exactly what you're speaking about, but I agree with you that anyone who was arrested for an activity that was anti-Semitic, some act or something else, harassment, intimidation, should certainly receive education in addition to other consequences, in my opinion.
Some criminal activity they were arrested for that was obviously driven by anti-Semitic beliefs and expressions. Several faculty members at Penn recently provided support for the Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions, or the BDS movement. The movement requires boycotting Israeli universities and individuals who are complicit in what they consider Israeli government misconduct. Therefore, it is impossible for a faculty member to support BDS and treat Israeli academics fairly. Can you tell this committee unequivocally that no such discrimination has taken place?
I appreciate the opportunity to clarify a very clear position that the University of Pennsylvania has had for many years, which is we strongly oppose boycotting, divesting, and sanctioning Israel. We have many flourishing it's contrary to academic freedom, among other things. It's singling out one state and treating it differently than others. We have many academic collaborations with universities in Israel. They're terrific collaborations. We're very clear on BDS. We are opposed to it, and our practices make that clear.
So as a part of that, and I'm a strong supporter of the right to free speech, including on college campuses, does University of Pennsylvania have any policies or procedures in place to ensure that BDS supporters cannot implement their boycott positions in their official capacities or not given such individuals administrative powers to begin with?
Well, it's the position of the institution that we do not engage in boycotting, sanctioning, or divesting, and I would think that would follow for any member of the organization who is acting in their official capacity. But if you have specifics that I could follow up on after this hearing, I would very much like to hear them.
We'll do that. Appreciate